Hello, I'm Denise Vivaldo. I'm the author of the Entertaining Encyclopedia, and I want to show you just a couple of easy centerpieces that anybody can make, and chances are you have these things already in your home. This is the most important thing I want to show you. This is called a floral frog. Now, these date back to the 16th century. What they're really for is if you do not know how to arrange flowers, the little floral frog does it for you. So here's an example. You can see it's fairly treacherous on the inside of that. You can get them in every shape, and you find these at nurseries or at a flower shop. I'm going to stick it in this. I have a lot of copper. I buy almost all of this used at flea markets. They're inexpensive. I never pay full price. So this is a great little soup pot that I have. And when I'm not using it for soup, I use it to build a flower arrangement in. These are silk flowers. Of course, you can use real flowers, but sometimes along about October, I start an arrangement in fall colors, and then it goes all the way up through Christmas, okay? So that I don't have to change the arrangement on my dining room table. You can see I am just taking these and sticking them in the mesh. So it holds the stalk of the flower up. I don't really have to do a thing. These are the most inexpensive silk flowers you can buy. I buy most of these at the 99-cent store, just so you know. I don't know why people are afraid of arranging flowers. You usually keep the taller stalks to the center, so what you're creating is almost a pyramid effect in your bouquet. People will call me, they'll say, Denise, can't arrange flowers, and I'm tired of paying $50 for a flower arrangement and it only lasts a few days. This is a solution to that. Mostly, any kind of hand-eye coordination, flower arranging, decorating platters, decorating cookies, all of these things, you guys, you can do them. But people decide they can't do them before they even try. So as I say, if you can accessorize, if you know what belt to put with the right dress, chances are you can do flower arranging too. That's the side I like the best, so I'm going to turn the pretty side to the camera. I'm going to use these guys. Just filling in the holes with your floral frog. You can't do it incorrectly. I think a floral frog like this costs between $8 and $10. You buy one, you have it your whole life. Now, from the tree behind me, I cut some fresh greens so that we could interchange and add something fresh to give it a little color. These leaves are so perfect off that tree, they look like they could be fake. You can almost make what they call, you're making yourself a ridge of the green. This is, one more flower needs to go in the, of course, the same rules apply if you wanted to use real flowers. Whoops! So there you have it. I have this set on top of a little piece of burlap. This is a burlap runner. I use scarves, as you'll see. This is a burlap runner. I like the brown, I like the texture next to the smooth of the pot. Okay, so that's what you're accomplishing with having some fabric underneath it. This runner could also be directly on top of a tablecloth so that you're developing layers of design that are interesting to the eye. I bet all of you have a tureen that came from your grandmother. And if you don't use it because you don't make soup or you don't make stew, I do the exact same thing with these that I did with the pot. I'm going to take the lid, I'm going to take my entire arrangement, pick it up by the bottom, and transfer it to this. So you can look at it, it'll fill it out. If you wanted to dress up your arrangement, you could always choose a different kind of flower, maybe a little more elegant flower, and use that in the floral frog also. The tureen has an old or a vintage feel, and so does the runner. Okay, so that's, and I liked the gold in this runner that went with the gold in the tureen. So that's silk flowers. These are flea market finds. These are classic catering bowls. They were silver plate. These were probably used by a caterer, God knows, for 100 parties. I'm not going to polish it, so I'll usually spray paint them. Okay, this is great if you know about this hammered spray paint. I use it for all sorts of things. This one's in a copper tone. We finished this bowl in a gold tone. If you want to make them more rustic, you take a wire brush and antique them that way. As we've moved from the fall into the winter, these are all the elements that I like to have because of the color of my living room in my home. I've got a silk runner with some rust and almost a silver blue-gray and a pretty gold. So with that on my table, I use all the silver ornaments that I buy. If it's a silver Christmas, and I put them in this bowl, which has got the gold, so I'm working in the same tones, and this can stay on my dining room table or uses as a centerpiece for parties from December, January, all the way into February if you want, especially if you live in a climate that gets snow. We have to manufacture our snowflakes in California. That's why we buy them, because we don't get them naturally. All of these ideas and more are in my Entertaining Encyclopedia. I wrote this book in the hopes that people would want to entertain and think that it's fun and creative and not a burden. And it certainly doesn't have to be expensive to have some style and fun.